That's a sports podcast off the bench.
Last week we heard Riddell rage about his hatred of CrossFit. Today is going to kind of be my opportunity to do that. We're going to talk about Marvel versus DC. And to be honest, I'm not a big DC fan. We're talking about comics, by the way, in case you don't know what Marvel and DC are. And before I start, I just want to say that every mean thing that I say about DC, and I'm going to have a hard time getting through this without swearing, to be honest. Every mean thing that I say, I'm not talking about Batman. Batman's my boy. There's two shelves of comic books to my right. About half of them are Batman comics. Rojas, maybe go ahead and start. You're going to kind of be fighting in DC's corner. You defend it a little bit. Maybe tell me why you think DC's so great.
This is why DC is great. They led the way for comics. Who's the first superhero? Superman. Who is the most recognizable, famous superhero? Batman. The fact that we're calling him a superhero is that's how good of a studio and a company that DC is. He's a superhero with no superpowers. He motivates and inspires other people to want to be great and to want to save people's lives. Hands down, I don't need to mention any other names but Batman, and DC is better.
Well, the only reason why he doesn't want to mention other names because, let's face it, Ant-Man.
Uh-oh. Riddell, I think you're accidentally fighting for DC. Ant-Man's a Marvel superhero.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, you know what, then?
Uh-oh. DC wins!
Ant-Man, by the way, is having a movie, so we can't really judge it until we watch it because none of us know anything about it. Like me, I didn't know anything about it.
Oh, man. Good turnaround, Riddell. Way to flop. I appreciate that. All right, so this is my thing with DC. Their heroes are super boring. Taking Batman out of the equation, and I'll give you that.
Is Batman really a superhero, though?
Oh, he's definitely a superhero. Is Tony Stark a superhero? I mean, he doesn't have powers. You can be a superhero without powers. Come on.
Nah.
That's a whole different argument.
That is another argument, but okay, keep going.
But so we're not even talking about Batman. There's two types of heroes in DC. There's super powerful, boring superheroes like Superman, who can't die, has no personality, he's just boring as heck. And then there's all these crazy superheroes that are really boring and don't make any sense, like the Flash. Like, oh, he runs really fast. And Green Lantern can make anything he wants with his mind. I hate them all. And here's the other thing. They live in imaginary cities. Like, Superman's in Metropolis, DC's in Gotham. Flash runs around some place called Rapid City. Cyborg probably lives in Tech Town. But the Marvel superheroes, they're in real places. Like, Peter Parker's story makes sense. It applies to me. He can't get the girl. He's a dork. He's like an interesting real superhero. And then DC doesn't have that. Yeah, they had the first superhero. They had one idea. Honestly, Superman, it sounds like a 3-year-old made up Superman. Oh, he's invincible. He can fly. He has heat vision. He's got breath that's really cold. It's terrible. It's really, really boring.
Well, here's my take. I grew up, collecting comic books, and which is weird because when these movies come out, I'm not really that interested in them. They don't really appeal to me. But when I did I watched X-Men on TV back when I was younger, so that was Marvel, and I collected a lot of other Marvel comic books. So I'm just looking at the list here, different superheroes on each side, and I'm just gonna lean the Marvel way. But I can't really give an honest, opinion of. I didn't even know this was an argument really. So I'm just giving you my history of growing up with comics, and I'm gonna lean with the Marvel side.
Again, with DC, who else do they have besides those two? I think what's that new movie that came out? Hitman? Is that DC?
That's not a superhero.
Just like Batman, he's not a superhero. He has no powers.
But he's not a superhero. He's not from comics.
I'm just playing here.
Oh.
But my point is, Rojas doesn't want to name other DC characters because
that is pretty telling, right? He's scared to even say another superhero.
Besides those two, I mean, Wonder Woman is just a girl version of Superman. Catwoman is just a girl version of Batman. Who else do they have?
Have you heard of Shazam? You know who's gonna? You know they're making a movie with that, right? And guess who's going to be starring in it?
Is that Shaq?
Dwayne The Rock
Johnson.
Johnson's. So yes, that movie will
Shazam.
be big when it comes out. And this is the thing.
That's
DC
sad.
is leading the way in the animated movies, in the animated series, in the comics. The one thing that Marvel has right now is the movies. And DC is going to be rolling out with their movies, starting with
Yeah. Yeah,
Superman.
they better catch up.
And they're going to catch up. They're going to catch up and close the gap.
I'm glad you said that because I'm really concerned about these movies,
Yeah.
honestly.
Shazam.
Hey, The Rock can do anything. The Shazam's, it's on my list. And to back up for a second, I have to acknowledge that DC's killing their animated films. Rojas and I regularly have bro night, and we watch animated DC films. So I can't deny that. But these real movies, the Nolan films are done. They're gone. They're not coming back. So those Batman movies, they were great, but I don't have no confidence in what's coming out. So far we have one okay Superman movie, and that's it. And so now they're trying to copy Marvel's whole technique, making the Avengers basically with the Justice League, but they haven't earned it. Marvel, they brought out all their superheroes, they introduced us to them, and then they did the Avengers. And DC's trying to do it backwards. They're like, here's everybody in one movie. It's gonna be great. But okay, so this is what Batman vs Superman's gonna have. They're gonna have Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, Lex Luthor, and probably some villain. Oh, and Superman. I forgot about Superman because I don't care about him. That's too much. There's no way, it's going to be crowded. It's not going to make any sense.
You're going to watch it, though. Don't lie.
Oh, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it, but I'm nervous for it. I mean, I want it to be good. Don't get me wrong. I want superhero movies to succeed. And there's some other interesting stuff coming out. Like, they have the Suicide Squad, which is about a bunch of villains having to complete a mission. That sounds really exciting. But, The Flash and Green Lantern, they can't hold up movies. There's just no way. No one cares about them. They're dumb. Rojas, The Flash is dumb.
He's probably one of my least favorites of the DC universe. Nonetheless, this movie's going to be exciting. It's just different. I mean, they can't roll out their movies the same exact way, so they're doing it a little different. Some fans are going to appreciate it.
So instead of getting to see a cool Batman movie, I have to watch a crazy movie with 4 superheroes I don't care about, all running around in their underwear.
Well,
instead of watching one cool Batman movie.
We just saw 3 of the best Batman movies you've ever seen. So I don't think we need to see another Batman movie. We're ready to see them all together as a team.
All right. Does anybody else have anything to add?
No. I do stay and watch after the credits for the Marvel, so if they got me sitting in the theater for an extra 15 minutes, those movies have to be good. Unlike DC, I wait till they're on DVD.